Welcome back to Oblivious Maximus. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Searle. Joining me, as always,
Aaron, the other guy, right here. We're getting faster at that exchange.
Yeah, I think there's a few episodes where I was really mushing my mouth through those.
Yeah.
I did this weird job for a few weeks where I was selling stuff over the phone.
Yep.
And I think it was a scam.
Yep.
And the trainer guy was this British guy, and he was in Bali. Red flags. And he was like, "You got to get the fucking marbles out of your mouth, mate." And I remember that. But that brings us to our guest.
A British person.
A British person. Robyn from Timepeace. How are you today, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
Not just from Timepeace.
I was judging that British accent hard.
I reckon it's pretty good. I'm good at some of them, but I can never lock them down to the regions.
Yeah, I was going to ask what region you were intending that to be.
What I can do, like checking out a can of Coke,
Scouse.
Coke. I can do. I think. Yeah, fucking hell. And it's always swearing. Like that's the best bits about it.
You're just getting it from videos on the
Swearing
internet.
in British is superior to swearing in other English accents.
Well, you invented the language, so
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I think when I'm there, when I'm there, the temptation to copy it, I've got to push down.
Oh, I'm not from Newcastle. I'm from near Newcastle, so I've got a northern accent anyway. But I would go to Newcastle to hang out with my friends for a weekend and come back and be like, "Reach man, how's it going?" And Mum was like, "Shut up." So I get it.
It's just a lot of fun. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Feeling good, feeling great.
It's a great day out there. We're
Sun's
recording this on a Saturday morning. Aaron and I were on the way here. We saw a young gal who was kind of dropping seeds on the ground.
yeah, I thought she was carrying like a thing of like Cheetos or something, and she was like throwing them on the street, and I was like, oh, okay, that's bird food. That's not.
Well, I didn't think
food.
it was bird food.
Maybe it wasn't,
but I didn't even clock that. And then we got a coffee, and it's like I would say she would have been maybe 18 or 19, if that.
Yeah.
And then we walk down the alleyway to get to the studio, and there she is with like
100 pigeons.
100 pigeons.
Minimum.
And I was like, you rarely see a pigeon lady young.
This is so true.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I commented, she's just watched Home Alone. She's like,
I was going to go Mary Poppins.
English.
Feed the English derogatory.
Yeah. Brackets. It was such an odd moment.
Yeah.
Because there was a lady near your old apartment that fed. This is crazy.
So, and our friend Vinny, his partner Kendall, lived literally behind her house, across the road from the apartment I lived in. She would feed like all local birds and wildlife, but was like very, obviously had some issues happening there. But she would go, there was a 7-Eleven next door to my old apartment. She would go into the 7-Eleven and buy all the bread, like just all the loaves of bread. And then she would go to her house and throw it all on the roof of her house. So then there would be like just thousands of birds on the roof of her house at all times. And it was really bad for Kendall because Kendall lived behind her. So the birds were just shitting all over Kendall's like fence and on her washing line, and just there was just birds everywhere. And then she used to do this wild thing, and I only found it out like one morning when I was going to work. I went outside the front of the apartment, and there was just like pasta all over the nature strip, like cooked pasta. And I was like, that's weird. Didn't think anything of it. Then I got a dog and took Mabel out at like, 11 o'clock at night for a wee before going to bed. And she's out there with like a steaming hot pot of pasta. Like she's just cooked pasta and like dumping it into the nature strip. And people were coming out and like yelling at her and being like, get off the nature strip. And she'd like run back into her house with this pot and like steam going everywhere. And then during lockdown, all these foxes started like amassing near Northcote Pool because no one was going there.
Yeah.
And the pool was shut, and they were using these foxes were like, nature is healing.
Yeah.
The pool is ours. And she was basically keeping all these foxes sustained. Like she was like domesticizing wild animals by putting all this fucking food out.
I mean, smart.
We talk
they're
a lot
around.
about creative projects on this show, and this is really like
One of the greatest creative projects.
could be
you can have.
sort of
Yeah.
immersive art to another level. Like, what if I had 1,000 pigeons on my roof?
Oh my god.
What if I had a bunch of foxes that were eating pasta? It's
I
really
think I'm like one step away at all times from becoming a pigeon lady. Like I love. Hang on, where's my water bowl?
I thought you were going to say, hold on, I've got a bunch of seeds.
pigeons.
Pigeon power. I think pigeons are really
nice.
cute, and I love to
There's
sing. So I feel like I'm one step away from becoming Mary Poppins pigeon lady.
There's a ton of pigeons near my work too, at out front of the Sunshine Vic Roads for anyone who wants to come and have lunch with me. There's a shitload.
I said my phone number last episode.
Yeah.
You gave away where your work is. We're just doxing ourselves
I don't
every
give a
week now.
fuck. Come and hang out. If you dare come to Sunshine Vic Roads, you'll. I don't work at Vic Roads, by the way. Don't shoot me. But there's fuckloads of pigeons out there too. And same thing, there's a guy who works at one of like the grocery stores there, and he just goes out the front and just tosses out like big things like flatbread, and then they're like,
I think we've done pigeons wrong. We've done them a disservice.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
used to domesticate them. They used to carry messages for us. I'm pretty sure pigeons have been killed for being assumed to be spies in wars and shit.
That's true.
That's
And
true.
now we
We got to get them
Look
back.
at them in the stream.
Get them back on the messages.
messages.
Got to give them jobs again.
Yeah, they're so
let's
beautiful.
put these animals to work.
Justice for pigeons.
Justice for pigeons. That's
Jobs for pigeons.
jobs for pigeons. Man, we just had an election.
Yeah, this is why. That's why Adam Bant lost his seat. He wasn't doing enough for the pigeons.
Not enough pigeon gear. The last time we saw you was last Saturday. Friday.
Saturday.
Saturday,
Oh
Yes.
my God, the day's getting
No.
away from you.
the day of the election.
The day of the election
It was.
we-
Big day.
was the show, the Horsepower headline show.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yes,
were in
sir.
the shirt. How was it? You guys had a great set.
Thank you. It was so fun. That was like our last show for a while because I'm going away. Dustin's going on tour, and we want to release some music, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second. But so I felt like the pressure. I was like, I want it to be really good, but sound was great. Vibe was good. Like we were on first, and it's always nice when there's a great vibe when you're on first.
Yeah.
Moshers, cage climbers.
I feel
You?
like that you can't climb the cage as well.
Fell off it also.
Yeah. I feel that room, as annoying as it is to go Southside, and we talk a lot about that on this show, that is a great room for shows.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I played a show in my very short-lived so far musical career where I actually heard myself properly while I
Oh.
was singing.
Nothing like
And
it.
I was like, I sound all right.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And you can actually be like, oh, this is what the band should sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
exactly.
just noise and then no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, because usually if I can't hear myself, there's either one or two things happen. I couldn't hear myself at a Fairfield Bowl show, and I went in like really high
Of course.
and then had to sustain that pitch the whole way through
Oh, that's bad.
and just like blew my voice out. Or I just like go really hard so I can try and hear myself. And
Yeah,
blow my voice out.
that's the biggest pitfall is I mean, I do it every show, I would say. Like I start and I'm like, guitar's too loud, idiot. And then I'm like, I've lost it now. And then it's like, then I'm spending the whole time just trying to not yell too loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care if it sounds shit. I just need to not blow my voice because
Yeah.
it'll sound way worse if I do that.
I'll give you my warm-ups and cool-downs.
I don't do that. I've been talking big game about this and I stand by it. I'm just going to keep drinking 40 beers and then yelling.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And it is broke.
Yeah.
So,
But I feel like when I did sing and I was singing regularly in a band, at least doing the exercises beforehand was massive. And it's
Oh,
like, yeah, if you warm up, it's better.
There is like method to the madness, sadly, but I always do them in my car when I'm on the way because I feel really silly doing them because I'm
And
going
you-
wee wee wee.
you notoriously arrive 7 seconds before the show starts. As I've been teasing you for
I'm
lately.
a rock star now, baby.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Start singing in advance, start coming as late as possible.
But I was like, I always do them in the car and then I'll like finish them like wherever I've parked. And the last show at the Bendigo that we did, I'd parked up and I was finishing my like, yeah, where I sound so stupid. And I get out the car, and then I think it was Moose got out the car in front of me, and he's like, "Oh, I've been trying to get my singer to do this for ages." And I was just like, I didn't realise, A, there was someone in that car, and B, you could hear me outside of the car. And he's like, "You're yelling." And I was like, yeah. That's fair.
But also you realise, like, cars, like, they're not that soundproof.
No.
Like, because you can hear people having phone calls, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, the amount of phone calls I've had where I, like, I don't know if I really wanted people to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I thought my VW Golf would be any different.
Soundproof.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you can't hear a lot of road noise,
Yeah.
but obviously you have to be able to hear stuff for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear nothing because I've got that shit cranked up to 11.
Well,
Yacht rock blasting.
Yeah. That's the like a lot. Well, again, I could be wrong with this, but I'm relatively certain it is still presently illegal to drive with like AirPods in and stuff because you can't hear road sounds. But like every Uber driver, every taxi driver, like they're all got headphones in.
Yeah.
Like they're just driving, not giving a shit.
Most cars have hands-free, baby, now.
I know, but Uber, I mean, thankfully. Actually, sometimes I love it when an Uber driver's like, "Can I take a call?" And I'm like, "Yep." And it's just on loudspeaker. It's like, great. I'm in the phone call too.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm into it.
Can I chime in with the chat? Or
Just a 3-way
yeah,
chat.
actually, when I existed the tour with Twitching Tongues in Europe, we had like, I guess we'd done, tours here and stuff. But I suppose by that point, I'd never actually toured with a band where the singer actually sung, like melodic singing. So I'd seen people do warm-ups, and like Jake did warm-ups in I Exist, but his warm-ups were just like yelling, basically, getting himself ready to yell. And then we did this tour, and I don't know what Colin does now. I'm sure he's got a more, maybe he does the exact same thing. I don't know. But it was basically like part of the end of it got to this point where it was just like this really loud, like, whoa, like it was just doing that. And that then just became like the gag of the whole tour was like, because I mean, some of those venues, like there's nowhere to do it. And like often he would just go in the van and do it in the van, but then sometimes he'd just be walking around going like, whoa. And then it was 15 people just walking around doing that for like 30 days thinking like, this is the funniest thing in the world.
I'm getting like a bit more confident with it. Like the Bendigo show, I just went upstairs and was just stood in the corridor upstairs going, wee for like 20 minutes and doing all that stuff and people walking upstairs and I'm like, oh, wee. But it's still funny.
Yeah, I just like,
I think just having the confidence to go like, well, I want the show to be good. This is part of it.
I think like as well, because it is hardcore, like there's the part in my brain of like, oh, it's just punk music. You're just shouting like, does anyone else do this and stuff? But it's like, well, I actually just want to make sure I don't blow my voice out because half my career is talking into microphones.
Yeah.
So I kind of need this baby.
Yeah, I realized that during comedy festival because I'd be like, I have had some comedy festivals where I was going, hey, let's get pissed every day for a month. And then
That sounds like the Edinburgh Fringe.
That was the Edinburgh Fringe,
yeah.
and there's definitely a few of those shows where it's like, oh, probably should have rested. And then you're like going to the after party spot and then being like, yeah, man, so I got this thing coming up. And you're like, oh, I just yelled it, like yelling over stuff to talk to another comedian.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the festival, I was like, hey, how you guys going? Like, it was brutal.
Well, it's hard for me because I don't know if you know this about me. I love to yap and chat to people. And like at shows and stuff, that's not half the reason, but it's a good part of the reason why I go to shows. See the homies, have a yap.
Absolutely.
Main
I
reason
have
to
to
go.
like hide. This is why I turn up a bit later, Aaron. There's reasons.
okay.
Also, I'm a rock star. Is I can't yap. Like I have to, so I have to hide away from people, and I hate doing that because I just love to talk to people. So because I have to preserve my voice. After I come off stage, it's fine. Jump behind the merch table, have a yap. But before we play, like otherwise, I will just like wear myself out.
I'm just talking the whole time.
Well,
I'm just talking. That's my warm-up.
Well, we've established you're built different, all right?
yeah.
Bad.
No, I think you're just, a man, a single man created.
designed for this.
Designed for this.
Built to be at the pub.
Because
Built to rock.
Well, that was my other thing during comedy festival. Is like, yeah, before that cunt who commented about comedy festival, he's gonna be fucking typing a thing there. I would because I'd have to go in the pub to get a drink and get stuff, and that's where the bathrooms are.
Yeah.
And my room where I was doing it was off to the side. But often it's like I'd run into. I was running late, so people who were coming to my show were already there. And I'm like, hey, I've got to sit backstage and be nervous for a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, also, I just want to go through my set list, figure out what I'm doing. Because I found that if I'm talking right up until I go on stage, I've not prepared properly.
Yeah.
And I have to and you feel like the biggest wanker in the entire world where you're like, thanks for coming. I'll see you after.
Yeah.
But you have to really be like, okay, if I'm doing this as a proper thing, I have to put some kind of boundaries in place.
I proper resonate with that because before every show, I will listen to every single one of our songs at least twice and just talk through the lyrics. I know the lyrics now, but I'm convinced if I don't do that, I'll forget them. But it's that muscle memory as soon as a certain riff kicks in. Sometimes I've been on stage and I'm like, I know the name of the song. I don't know the lyrics. And then as soon as it kicks, it can kick in and then it's just right before I sing, I'm like, oh, and now I know the lyrics. It just will just appear in my head. I
remember as a kid seeing a video of maybe Metallica or Ozzy or someone and how they've got the teleprompters and big bands have to have that because they have 5,000 songs. You can't expect them to remember every single fucking word. I remember that's the rationale of an older person. When I saw that when I was young, I was like, James Hetfield doesn't know the lyrics to Enter Sandman. I know all the fucking lyrics to Enter Sandman. And then have been in bands for years. I don't know any of the lyrics to Aguilar songs. If you were say every word to the Aguilar song, I'd be like, no fucking clue. Shoot me now.
Well,
I was just 8 years old when I learned that they use teleprompters.
Well, I found, I realized to remember my sets and remember how my jokes go. Do you know what the memory palace is?
Yes.
Where it's so if you don't know, it's this concept of if you want to remember a long series of events, you imagine a physical space that you're in and you put things in that space. And I think for me, every joke and every song, it was basically play the movie of what the lyrics are in my head. I had to, I could never remember lyrics to songs unless it was a narrative. So I had to write my lyrics like that. And then I was as soon as that unlocked, I'd be all right, play the movie of this song of me breaking up with my ex-girlfriend times 10 across
Forbidden
every song.
pre-workout.
And then and I could only remember songs if I had pictured it visually. And I think I just learnt that about myself. It's everything for me has to be a visual cue.
Well, that's why we were talking about your comedy show, punk music. And
Don't say Comedy Fest.
Sorry.
You just said it again.
I'm gonna get a buzzer. But the way you told it was a journey in the car trip, the road trip.
Yeah.
And then it kind of linked it all together, and that was really nice.
Well, once I had that, I was I could do the show without the notes and stuff now because I was oh, okay, at this bit,
that's where this part kicks in.
Yeah, it's it was all the bits were now tied to not a physical location that I'm in all the time, but there was a location. All right, we're in the car now, so this bit, this happens within this bit.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to I think you do it unconsciously, and then when you're how can I keep doing this? You have to retroactively go back and go, how did I do that?
Yeah, once it's out your memory, I would find that with the cover band thing that I do, every year I'm just I can't remember the songs that we did last year. The lyrics gone. Or when I was a dancer, I'd be nah, as soon as it's finished, I'm move that to one side, let the new routine.
Yeah. I just can't remember verses. Verses are my Achilles heel. I remember a chorus. I got you in the pit riff. I'll get you at the start of the song. But second verse, who knows? Same lyrics as the first verse. And that's why I'm more than happy to sing in the death metal voice, because I'm happy that people can't understand what I'm saying, because most of the time it's the first verse again in the second verse.
Well, I've done that plenty, especially our first few shows where just as there's the nerves and the stress and obviously all the other things you're thinking about while you're on stage. And I would often just sing the same verse a couple of times. There's like one song, On the Run, which is really long, and for some reason I've written loads of words.
Course.
I think there's only been one time live where I've managed to perform it the whole way through without having to go.
That's a classic. Just starting singing in a band pitfall. I did it too in the first with the first Aglo stuff. I was like, every song, so many words.
Yeah,
and then now I'm like, this, repeat it again.
5 words.
That's the song.
Yeah. I was like looking last night on the tram home. I was like listening to that Angel Dust song, Stepping Stone. And I was like looking at the lyrics. And I'm like, oh, yep, Stepping Stone, yep, again. It's like, it's like,
But it's catchy.
It's catchy.
well, and that's the thing. It's like those songs are so catchy and it's like so simple and it's like cut. And for me with jokes as well, it's like cut the fat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You don't need
Absolutely.
all this stuff. But it's so interesting where it's like, I think when you're starting out, you're like, I got to put everything into this.
But I'm like, I work in marketing for my daytime job, and my like classic thing is I write way too many words, and I always have to strip it back. Like I can't send someone like a short brief. I'm just like, must have every single piece of information in here. And that's like the first song I wrote, which is Bolt from the Blue, which is usually the one we open with, is like so many words. And I've stripped that a couple of times and I'm just like, it is what it is now. And that's now like, I still love the song, but it's now my least favorite lyrics that I've written. And I think probably the last two are my favorite because you start getting into
Of
it,
course.
you figure out what works. And like, they're a lot shorter. There's a lot more repetition in there. There's a lot more just me letting the band.
Well, and it's
do the thing.
also like playing live. Like until you road test something, or like you road test a project, for example, like you don't really know. Like, and again, I think the thing that I did wrong with Aglo was that like when I started doing it, I didn't know that I was going to play live. So I was like, well, I don't need to be able to do this live. I just need to be able to do this once and then it's good. And then as soon as it became a thought that I would have to do it live, I was like, fuck me, how am I going to do all this? Remembering a fucking Star Trek story I wrote, like how am I going to remember every part of it? And then now, like the most recent stuff is like so basic because I'm also like, wow, the bits people are connecting with are the chorus. That is the title of the song or like the part that they remember. Like that's the bit they're connecting with, not like the fucking minutia that I've put in the verse that I don't remember anyway.
Is this song about the sentient bomb?
Yeah. See, that's the one. And it's just because I say warhead a bunch of times. People are down with that.
Well, you also want to like show off a little bit too. Like you want to be like, I am this, cerebral person and this is the stuff I can write. But I mean, I found that I've been reading a book about writing and comedy writing and it was like, Twitter is bad now. But when it was limited, newsflash. But when it was like limited to 140 characters, it was like actually like, you'd write something and you'd be like, how can I write that same thing?
Yeah.
It was actually like a very good tool to like, how can I communicate this same idea with only that?
Yeah.
And you'd have to be very creative. And it was like, when they extended that limit, it was like, like a bit annoying, but I think even just doing that for yourself, like I do it with jokes all the time, is like, all right, I've written this out. How can I cut this back to say the same thing with, well, I guess it's word economy is the saying. And it's like, it's such an interesting skill. Yeah.
And that's what I found like, again, like because I write very literally for my job and it's still quite creative writing, like when I do like more creative campaigns. But I was writing very literally when I like did those first couple of songs and I was like, I was telling, not showing kind of thing. Like I was just like over explaining it and there was like enough imagery and stuff in there for it to be kind of like, to create like the lyrics of the song. But I'm like, you don't need to step out every single part of like this. Like there can be gaps that people can fill in. And that's been like, the learning curve. It's one of my favorite learning curves of like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think also realizing that like whatever you do, people are going to attach more so with lyrics, I think, where they're going to attach their own meaning to it.
And I'm really nervous about that. Like we're recording next week and the thing I'm most nervous about is like putting my lyrics out. Not because I'm like, I think it's because I don't want people to go, oh, that's shit. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, all the worst lyrics in the world already exist, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. That's
Particularly in the genre of music that we inhabit. There's quite a lot of bad ones.
fair. Yeah, that is true. So yeah, I'm just very nervous about that. No one judge me.
No, I mean, I think it's a very, it's kind of a scary thought to do. And I mean, I think that's probably why personally I've hid behind fucking weed, sci-fi, metal for all the bands that I've written lyrics for. Is like, well, people can make fun of this because I'm definitely making fun of it.
That is true.
Having a cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
Well, I think sincerity is such a hard.
Yeah, big time.
Like, I was talking a lot about it with another comedian that I had lunch with, a good mate of mine, Andrew Portelli. I wrote this like post about, been doing stand up for 10 years, or I did my first open mic, and it's just a very sincere reflection on that. And I was like, I bet this is being screenshotted and put in some group chats or something. And I was like, that actually probably isn't happening. And I was like, actually being okay with like, everyone is so cynical online.
Yeah.
It is actually like a bit of a superpower to be kind of sincere.
Yeah.
And, I'm not that all the time, but like, I think for me, I was like really shied away from it because I was like, and I think I was like, that's probably actually something I can do in my comedy that other comedians can't do. Like, a lot of comedians just put their hand on the mic and it's like joke, 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 and you'd learn nothing about them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, actually, people probably connect better with when you add a bit of that stuff in as well. And I think that's true with lyrics. It's like the most lyrics, the songs that I connect to the most are the most sincere, the most like, it's not the most. But you need a bit of both, I think. Yeah. But it's hard because you're like, once it's out, you don't have any control of it.
Yeah.
And it's such a scary feeling.
It is scary, but I'm very much just kind of like is what it's going to be. Hardcore's so full of haters sometimes. So
like, big time.
No one's going to love everything that you do, so just do it.
I mean, and like, I even for me, it was like, again, starting the Star Trek band, it was like, well, I'm just going to do this. And I think, like, I love it. It's not a joke. It is funny that I like Star Trek a lot, but it's not like, it's not a joke that I like it. I genuinely love it.
Yeah. And that's like,
and so like, I'm just going to write about it. And then I've found all these like very lovely people have been coming up to me and being like, I mean, I've said it on here a few times, but there's been a couple shows where people have been like, I just like metal, but like, I don't know anything about going to shows. And like, there's been like a Star Trek Facebook group that's been resharing Aglo stuff. And these people have been coming to shows because they're like, I like Star Trek and I saw you on the thing. And then they're like that Ghost Smoker show I played, these crew were like buying shirts of every band. And we're like, this is so sick. I didn't know stuff happened like this. And I was like, that's so funny that I've managed to help those people a little bit with like the dumb dork Star Trek thing.
But I think it's like showing those people that you don't like, it is authentic. Like, you don't have to be this fucking brutal, hectic dude to like this stuff. Like, I think that's the big misconception about this type, like, music of this ilk.
Yeah.
People are like, it's so scary. And it's it's like all the, we come in here, this studio, which is mostly a creative studio for comedians.
Yeah.
And they're like, all the people you have in here with tattoos and stuff. I'm like, they're all wimps. They're on stage singing about their feelings and stuff. Yeah. Like, you don't have to worry about them. Like, maybe some of them, but
I'll give you a list of it.
Yeah. But it's showing people that it's like, oh yeah, I think for you with Aglo, it's like it's very authentic because you're like, I just like this thing. It doesn't have to be like fucking Cannibal Corpse lyrics. It can be just something else entirely.
Yeah. And that was like the genre that we're playing and like this, how like it sounds. It's just the sound that we all like, and we just kind of like wanted to play. And I think we just, the band kind of like formed before I joined, and they were like, this is the style, this is what we want to play. I joined and I was like, this sounds like my most played music always, aside from yacht rock. And for me, like doing it for the first time, I was just like, I just want to have the experience of like, the creative debates where you're like trying to work out what you should do for a breakdown, like just the playing, like making merch, like all these first time experiences, which are like for 35-year-old that's always wanted to do it. Really fun. And that's all we wanted to get out of it. Like, have fun, do what we want to do, and then you find the people that also like that. Do you know what I mean? Rather than trying to like cram into a specific style that's like popular at the minute or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone the exact opposite route to you, to remove every person and just have no one to have a creative debate with. Except
when the band's your literal initials,
yeah,
you can do that.
I mean, you know, next Bon Jovi. They
Has been said.
yeah. No, but I mean, I think that's like the most fun part about doing this is like doing it with people.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing you do have in common is it's like it just is what it is. It's your project. It's your identity. And it's like you're not trying to like follow a trend. And I don't think anyone is really sort of like actively following a trend, but it's definitely out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like hardcore goes through like
Yeah,
sounds.
it just goes in its waves.
Yeah. And but I think that thing of like, I think I went through the same thing with comedy of like trying to maybe fit more into what is popular and like, oh, this is the way it has to be successful or whatever. And then you're like, oh no, if I actually just go like, this is what I am, and like this is what it sounds like, you'll just kind of collect the people that like it, rather than the other way around. I think, which is actually a relief.
Yeah.
Like
big
it's actually way harder doing it the other way, and
It's not authentic.
and just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get much more revved up now by I mean, we'll have an episode up with them soon, but like meeting those Thantu guys and like seeing them play, you know, they played that show with you guys the other week as well.
They're so lovely.
And like, they're just like the most enthusiastic young fellas who are like just playing the stuff that they like.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, by their own admission, they started the band when they were in high school together and are still kind of like, you know, they're only a couple of years out of high school. So like they're still kind of in high school band mode where it's like, we like this, so we're doing this.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They're so fun.
They're so fun. And it has been like, they're very good at it as well. And also it's been like very well received by everyone, I think, because of like how genuine it is and how authentic it is, that it's like, these guys aren't pretending to be anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're still up there like moshing to their own band on stage, so psyched about doing it.
Yeah.
So revved up about the show that they're a part of. And it's like, it makes that so awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you feel the band's energy on stage and they're having fun. Like that's one of the things like with Timepeace, like we're just having fun up there. And like when I see other bands, I'm like so drawn to that when you could see like, you know, the just like moshing around, like you said, like jumping up and down. Like I think the crowd feeds off that so much and it creates such a good vibe.
Well, I think that show in particular had a lot of moments like that where, and I'd say every band on the bill was, you know, being themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Like,
It was such a good lineup. Every single band was amazing.
And it was just like, you know, and the Horsepower guys, like they're just like unique and
So, very unique.
I love the band Horsepower.
and it wouldn't be what it is without that. And like that moment where they played Do It was like one of my favorite moments at a show in like the longest time I can remember.
Yeah.
Like it was fun. People were having a great time.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of little moments at that show like that where it was like, oh yeah, like this is just fucking meant to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're another band that just have loads of fun on stage. Like Christian with his bass, he's just hopping around doing what's the AC/DC guitarist called?
Angus Young.
There, that's it. Sorry, don't know. No one cancel me for that.
Sound
Get
off
out.
Sound off in the comments.
Strip you of your Australian
No,
citizenship.
don't get the passport. And yeah, like Dermot's having fun. Like they're all just like having a laugh.
Yeah.
And again, and obviously great music, but
Yeah. I mean, I think like I mean, again, we've talked shit on going down there, but I do think I agree. I think that venue's a good venue for shows. Like, I think there's a lot of logistical things.
I
with the
wish
venue.
they'd move the merch table.
Oh yeah, let's get into that. I think every time I walk in, I'm like, door shouldn't be there. That's not where the door should be.
Put the little podium and
Yeah.
your angry French lady outside
out.
the door.
Get out of the door.
Yeah.
Security guard was a bit of a cop. That's okay. That happens. Part of the job.
I guess if you work at Revolver,
You gotta be.
You're on.
You gotta
A
be.
person.
People be dying
A
there.
person did die there. So
A couple of people
Allegedly.
said that.
hasn't it been?
I think
Have
it's
we
still.
debunked that?
Do we
We
need
ta-
to say allegedly?
We talked about it quite a lot on the Fan 2
I'm
episode.
going to put person die Revolver into Google. Yeah.
I'm still very concerned about them serving drinks and glasses in the band room because it was a nightmare at the extortion show. But it continues to. I think at this show the other day, people were smarter about it. And I think at the Harm's Way show, it wasn't such a problem because it was kind of like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But just being handed a pint, I'm like, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to get. Someone's just going to not even do anything wrong. They're just going to accidentally drop it. And then
It's just
the
glass.
280 people that are crammed in here are going to stand on glass.
Yeah, 100%. It happened a few times, but it happened while we were playing. The person that brings in the ice in the bucket.
Oh, yeah. In the bucket.
In the bucket, over the crowd, like this. But I was singing along, and all I saw at the corner of my eye was someone walk into the room with something over their head, and I was like, oh my God, someone's going to start a fight with like a bucket, or I thought it was a chair.
I am certain you would have been thinking that me and Matt were standing near the bar while it was coming in, and Matt I think one of us said it to the other, bring that in, like with this. Like everything is full. Everyone is packed in here. Now's the time to bring the
Yeah.
ice
But
in,
just
is
also
it?
not realizing like there's space there for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like-
There's a reason everyone has parted from that part of
Yeah.
the room.
Limbs be throwing.
Yeah.
I can't get a
Confirm or
Reddit-
deny?
Well, there's a Reddit thread, but it's not letting me log in. I can't remember.
I'm moving ahead with died until I'm.
I mean, if you type,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff about drug overdoses coming
Yeah.
up, unfortunately, and I think there was a stabbing there last year.
There definitely was. There was
Well, yeah, because what was
the
the
Miles Away show had
Yeah.
Almost
Almost
didn't-
moved.
Yeah,
and they had to have the gates and
Little beepers.
yeah, because someone got stabbed a week earlier.
Yeah.
crazy. But great space for a show.
Sound good. I really like that we had everyone could do like a little backdrop.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
made me feel like a real band because we
Yeah.
had like the little animation.
Yeah, yours was
that
good
logo
too.
Behind. Shout out Charlie. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
made it, huh?
Yeah.
We were
yours was great.
yours
Yeah.
is great.
But the Thantu,
Oh, yeah.
when the fucking CapCut logo came
Yeah.
up, I was like pissing myself laughing. And that's what I mean, like that's authentic.
Yeah.
It's like these guys, they're on the talk.
Yeah. yeah.
I'm certain one of them did that on their phone
On the way. Well, there was
Oh,
pictures. There was
1000%.
video of them being at the Cornish Arms.
Was there?
There was video of the food that they'd had at the Cornish Arms,
so good.
Oh my
which
God.
made me
notice that.
laugh so much. And yeah, those guys are just
Yeah. I
funny
couldn't
as.
see it too much because I was behind the merch
You were in the
table
merch
being
trap.
squished.
Yeah.
I think I've got like bruises across my thighs where the table was like ramming into me.
Well, it was like montage of various stuff. Christian giving haircuts to them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then fade to food at the Cornish Arms and then CapCut logo. Made me laugh a lot. And that's it. It should be funny.
Yeah.
Mate, how got fun again?
Well, so Aglo got asked to play that show. We couldn't do it, unfortunately. And before, when it got asked, I was like, I would love for Aglo to play there because of the screen.
Yeah.
Because so far, Aglo hasn't had the opportunity to play at a venue with a screen. And the sci-fi band demands a screen.
Yes.
Like
with the pet sound pedal as well.
I've got so many ideas. I got so many different things I could do. I mean, the first suggestion when we saw it in Canberra was like, just put on one of the Star Trek movies. Just press play on the movie
Yeah,
and
dope.
just have the movie playing behind you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Or I could make a bunch of stuff that's also funny.
Also, what if when you do that, I'll join as video DJ
Yeah.
and I'll just hit different cues
Yeah,
as
see?
it's on.
Yeah.
I think before that comedian Hannibal Buress was out here, but like for an hour before his set, there was just a guy doing like music and then different video clips on the screen. It was crazy.
That
It was
rocks.
awesome. I was like, that's a thing?
I
Get
gotta
it
start.
moving.
I
Let's
gotta
book
get
you at
down there.
Rebs.
Hey, if someone's booking a show and you want Aglo to play Revs, hit me up. I'm down.
Since we chatted to you last, you were about to start doing your radio show.
Yes.
How has that been? So tell us a little bit about. So for those who don't remember, your show is No Barriers.
Yes, correct.
PBS.
PBS FM, Melbourne's greatest community radio station. And the show is No Barriers, playing the very best in hardcore from Australia and around the world. All genres, all eras. We got it. Whether it's like my goal is like whether you're an old head and you've been listening to genre for a while, or you're just getting into it, like whatever your age, I want it to be something for everyone. And there's a lot of new stuff. Like the hardcore scene everywhere is insane right now. Like it's a 4-hour show. It's every other Thursday from 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. You can listen live, or every single show you can catch up on the PBS website, pbsfm.org.au, at a time that's more palatable.
Appropriate.
Yes, more appropriate for your sleep schedule. So there's so much new stuff. So that 4 hours gets filled up real quickly with my 80 songs, 80, 90-second songs. But I also every single week will do a deep dive, and it's usually, I think I was saying last time I was on here, like it's usually just whatever I'm listening to. So last week it was Locking Out Records. But it's been super fun, and I've kind of, the thing that I always do when I start creative projects is I go 1,000% instantly, and I burn myself out. So this time I'm like, just take it easy. You don't have to do everything at once. Like I've got all these ideas, and I'm like, they don't all have to happen. So the first, I think I'm on like about to do show 10 now. I just wanted to like get my feet, get into it, get a routine with it, with my sleep, with like pulling the playlist together and stuff like that. And then now I feel like I'm in a good position to start growing. So next week, very exciting. I'm like launching on my social media, and like I got some branding, working with Pat Hollowbones. Shout out Pat.
Yep.
What
Who
a
did
legend.
that?
God's Hate logo.
Yep.
Speed.
Yep.
What else?
Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
Did my Hammerhead logo from my show last year.
Yep. Basically.
Oh, I did my punk music poster as well from this year.
Every
ARIA and
existing.
Grammy Award nominated.
Yeah.
What a legend. But yeah, it's been great working with him, because I was just like, here's everything that's in my brain. And he goes, that sounds like everything that's in my brain. Here's the visual representation of it. And I was like,
awesome.
Sold. Done. So I'm launching that. We've got Radio Festival that kicked off at PBS this week. So it's like a huge celebration at the station. We've got heaps of prizes for people that renew their memberships, and like amazing stuff. And it's going all the way through like May and into June. So like every show as well is doing something a little bit special. We're all jumping on each other's shows. I'm going to join Burning Bitumen on Tuesday night just for a little bit, bring in a song. Maybe I'll take an Aglo song. It's got to be heavy.
Fucking oath.
Done.
I think Burning Bitumen follows me on Instagram.
There you go. I'm taking an Aglo song.
Thanks to that show as well.
And then I think Kenny from Burning Bitumen might join me for like the last half an hour of my show, which is, still early. So shout out Kenny.
Get on in there at 5:30, mate.
I'm probably going to cause some arguments online, because I'm going to do I can't decide if I want to do like best of hardcore or like most important songs of hardcore from like the eras.
Sound off.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
Get on the
I can't wait
line.
for the arguments in the social media comments of being like, you missed this one.
Well, there's nothing like an argument in the comments to make something go off.
Yeah, truly.
But yeah, it's great. And then I obviously want to start getting people in for interviews and things like that. Like, we've got some great tours coming up from like Aussie bands and international bands. So just getting opportunity for them to yarn on the radio and promote their stuff will be great. We've got a live Studio 5 Live, which I'm like dying to get I've got something in the works. I'm dying to get that off the ground, because that'll be so fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep going with it. Like, it's just been great, like connecting with people. That's why I'm excited to like launch the social media, because I'm just shouting into the 1,000 echo chamber on my own personal page. So start like actually growing something around it and getting the word out a bit more. But it's great. I get to listen to hardcore for 4 hours every fortnight. I get to text line, get some interesting texts coming in at 3 a.m.
Fucking hell.
How have you gone about trying to find new music?
Yeah, so I get kind of like better at it, for want of a better phrase, every week. But I follow a lot of like playlists on Spotify where it's like new music. I follow a lot of media outlets that do it. I follow a lot of record labels or promoters from different countries. follow the bands, look at the flyers that they're playing on. Like I've got like a Instagram is like my main tool. So I've got like an Instagram save folder where like I'll see something and I'm like saving it, or like someone posts a song, I'll screenshot it and then I'll listen to it all and kind of go down those rabbit holes as well. So if I hear something from Sweden, I'm like, okay, what else is Sweden doing at the minute? Let's have a little bit of a look. But yeah, record labels as well, promoters in different countries. Once it felt really hard at the beginning, but like once I've got into the swing of it, it fit like there's more stuff coming up all the time as I saturate my own feed with it. Don't see any of my friends' posts anymore. Just see hardcore
all
music.
that shit. Oh yeah.
It's so bizarre when that happens. Like, or a post of someone will come up and you'll be like, I haven't seen something of theirs for fucking ages.
I had something come up on my thing today that like I hadn't liked the post, and it was it's the 10th of May today. It was from the 3rd of April, and it's like a good friend of ours, and I was like, double tap that.
April.
I was like, that's over a month ago. Like, what? Why do I keep getting like this AFL player, this basketball player? Like, why do I get that? And not a thing my friend posted. Like, maybe it was like a photo of their kid or something. Like, why the fuck am I not getting that? Like,
But yeah, no, it's good. Like, and like, I think a part of it is a growth part for me, being like, it's okay to not know every single band in the world, even Australia. Like I'm like trying my goddamn best. And so just being accepting, like someone might post something, like keep sharing music you like on your stories, because I'm screenshotting it.
Of course.
If I haven't heard of it, or I'm
awesome.
like, oh yeah, I want to remember to play that, but I'll screenshot it. My screenshots folder is just people's Instagram stories at the minute where they've like shared a song and I'm like, dope, I'm going to play that on the radio.
It's interesting when like I feel like sharing a song to my Instagram story is like, that is my most millennial cringe behavior, and I will never give it up.
Never.
I simply will never give it up, because
it's the MSN status of the 2025.
Exactly. And it's
that
like
posting food.
Yeah. A friend of ours is doing this thing at the moment where he's scrolling way back on people's feed and screenshotting their like dog shit meals.
Oh my
and
God.
reposting them again on his feed as like it's just happened.
It's very funny.
A blessing and a curse. I got my Instagram hacked a few years ago when I had a TikTok that went viral, and then all my social media got hacked. And so my Instagram account got deleted. So I don't have to be reminded of anything cringe that I did on Instagram older than 3 years ago. A blessing and a curse.
Well, I
lose the memories.
But I deleted my original MySpace and I regret it.
You fool.
I know. But that's like, I feel like the same thing. Like at least like, you know, Instagram's pretty far back now.
Yeah.
And so is Facebook. And Facebook, there's a few things on it. Oh, fucking delete that.
Yeah.
Using words. You should
Using words
Yeah.
that now people are using again that you should not be using.
We grow.
We grow and keep growing. But I regret that, not having that old MySpace. 'Cause I guess in putting my show together, I was trying to find some like old stuff, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. We did that. We went for a girls' weekend away recently, and we were at a winery, and one of our friends was like, I want to play a game. And she'd gone through all of our old Facebooks
That rocks.
and pulled out funny statuses, and then we had to guess who had said them. And I was like, mine were pretty obvious because I just talked about smoking cigarettes a lot, or like just like said such dumb stuff. But you can like filter your Facebook by year now, so you can easily find your dumbest period.
Well, that it reminded me and we did this like maybe 10 years ago now, where my friends and I would do that. You just scroll back on someone's feed on Facebook and respond like it just happened. And it was me and my friend in our old share house, like opposite sides of the house, like in our rooms with our place that had like no heating, going like, and it was the funniest thing in the entire world.
But Facebook's got the memories thing.
The memories thing is like, I guess them trying to like, I mean, that's existed for a while now. And it's like me 16 years ago, just got to Paris. What are cool things to do in Paris?
Yeah. No replies.
Yeah.
That's like I use that.
Here's a good one for you. In case anyone missed it, New I Exist, and it's just a video of I Exist recording. This is 14 years ago. 1 like.
Yeah, exactly. So. I use that now. Like I'll go on Facebook kind of periodically just to look at memories, just so I can delete dumb stuff, maybe stuff I probably shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Or just have a laugh. Like, remember when you would have conversations with people out in the open?
This is the biggest thing that I constantly see on here. It was me and a very dear friend of mine used to seemingly only interact with each other
Yeah.
on the public Facebook posts.
Yeah.
Not messaging each other. We definitely have had each other's phone numbers since we went to school together. Why were we talking like that? Like, and at the time, I'm certain Facebook probably wasn't, maybe we weren't even using phones. Like, we were on a hardwired computer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah, it was
Like
all on
talking
laptops.
to each other.
So you'd have the little chat box
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Like, what
Yeah.
lunatic behavior?
Yeah.
Anyway,
15 years ago.
what do you got?
Yeah.
May 10th, 2010. I can smell burning plastic, but I can't find the source. I'll guess I'll go to bed and hope for the best. No likes, no comments.
Like, I used to just be like really drunk or high and just posting like things I thought were so funny, like quotes from so many quotes from Family Guy, or like a lyric in all caps. No
Yep.
likes, no comments.
Yeah, the posting on the wall thing
Yeah.
was like, oh man, this is the fucking most old person chat going on now.
The Thantu guys don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
Just 13
Do you
years
even
ago.
have Facebook accounts?
You get a ticket to to Terror at the corner, they're selling fast. This is just a mate posting on my wall. Hey mate, I haven't sussed one. This conversation just out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, we had each other's phone numbers.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I'll be using Facebook to promote the radio show. I can barely keep up. I run the band account on Instagram, my own account. What else have I got? And then, we'll soon to have radio account. I think trying to do Facebook or anything else.
It's
is
true.
gonna
It's
be
truly
too
a
much.
nightmare. And I mean, that's been a funny thing booking these I Exist shows is that like we have like a very small Instagram page because the band was not like actively a band when Instagram became like a big thing to use.
Yeah.
We were a band when Facebook was the thing. So we have so many followers on Facebook.
Really?
So I've had to be posting everything about these upcoming shows on Facebook. And it's all like old people being like, fuck yeah, man. Glad to hear it's back together. And then I'm like, that dude has definitely not gone to a show since the
Yeah.
last time someone said about it on Facebook.
well, I think you forget that, I guess it's like, I mean, I still use it every day because of Messenger.
Yeah.
And like,
To talk to your mum.
Australian people and fucking Facebook Messenger. What is it?
I don't know what it is.
don't know.
Like when I,
Sorry, that was so violent.
no, but I mean, I've had this.
I've had the same conversation. Like no one else anywhere in the world uses
Nah.
it. Like
Yeah,
we
because
use it.
everywhere
We're all
else is
WhatsAppers.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, yeah.
And like everyone, and I will do anything to not use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it looks. It just looks
Yeah.
weird to me. And
That's fair.
I'm like, if someone's like, you got iMessage? Yes, thank fuck.
Yeah.
But there are a few conversations where, like a couple of group chats I have on WhatsApp because like someone's got an Android or something and it's like on like located there.
Yeah.
But then when I went to the UK last year, all the Edinburgh stuff is like WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's like doing whatever lineup show. It's
Yeah.
all WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
crazy.
I have to have Facebook Messenger now just because there's a few group
You live
chats.
in this country.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I lament having to do so much on Instagram, but I love the community aspect, like especially for the band, like getting
Yeah.
to see people posting like the pictures and stuff, being able to just like chat one-to-one with people. And then the same with the radio show. Like one of my favorite things is community and connection, and I love meeting people, and as I said, I love to yap, and especially like when you get to talk about your favorite topic in the world, hardcore music. So I'm like really looking forward to that, and like that I get that a lot at the radio show as well. Like at the station, like PBS is such a great community vibe. Like we just went in for like a all hands meeting to talk about the radio festival, and everyone's so friendly, and it's just like that real like nice community vibe. All the presenters are amazing, and there was like 150 people in that room. It was insane.
Yeah, wild.
And feel very supported and connected to everyone, and everyone's been so nice with the show and congratulating me and offering me help and stuff like that. So it's like I'm excited to launch the Instagram because I'm like, oh, more community, more
that's
connection
awesome.
points with people who love music.
I mean, it comes up on here a lot, but I mean, I think that it does open you up to other worlds. It's like you're doing a show about hardcore, but then it's like now you're in radio world. And it's like also opens you up to all these other people doing music. And it's like recently went and did like a spot on a Triple R show that a woman I used to work with like just was like, hey, come and chat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like that just came from being in Melbourne, and
Yeah.
it was like good to be able to go on and talk about the show. And it's like, it's interesting where this stuff kind of like leads you.
100%. And like one of the things I get to do as well is, because like in the hard and heavy programming, which is all about like metal and hardcore and punk shows, is you can fill in for people. Like I'm going to be filling in on Tyrannosaurus in August, I think, because Ryan's going on holiday. So I get to connect with like his audience and stuff, and like flex, or like not flex as in like check out my music taste, but like I mean like flex my muscle of like trying. I'm not doing a better job of explaining this. Look how great I am
You're
at
trapped
music.
in the muscle metaphor.
I know. I get to test myself and like push myself to like play a little bit more like metalcore and
Sure.
stuff like that. And he was like, no, you can do what you want. I was like, no, I kind of want to like, you know, make sure that I'm constantly expanding my music listening and things like that. And then I covered for one of the drive time shows, and it's more like indie and older rock and stuff. So I get to like lean into that part of my listening more and stuff. So it's like, and connect with their listeners on their show and just have more experiences doing that and like grow. And I've loved that, love doing new things because I love the process of like learning and like trying new things. And, so that's really fun. And then, just doing things for the hardcore community.
Got to do it.
It's great. Like playing bands. Like I love it when bands are like, oh my God, thanks so much for playing us. I'm like, you're joking. Like you new EP sick or
Well,
whatever.
also like the radio stuff wouldn't exist without the band, you know, so you
100%.
need them to do it. And same with this. Like,
keep making good music, people.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently I think it's worth shouting it out, but like Ben and I recently have had like, we also real life actual friends, so we go to a lot of things together. So we've had like many occasions recently where we've been like standing together at a show, and then people come and talk to us about the podcast, which is lovely.
That's cute.
But like, you know, I think I'm still like, anytime someone tells me they listen to the podcast, I'm like surprised and like very stunned that people are listening to it, which is, you know, thank you for doing that. But we've had a lot of conversations recently where people have been like telling us about stuff they heard on the podcast and then have done something, or, you know, listened to something or have checked that thing out or whatever as a result of it, which is very cool. And but then the whole reason to do it is to like keep being able to push that stuff out and keep being able to talk about it. So, I mean,
yeah, people have been very nice about it, and it's like easy to do this stuff, and you're like, who's paying attention to it? And you when it's your thing, I guess you're probably tempted to like discount it a little bit or something. So it's
you're your
not
own harsh critic.
Yeah. And it was very nice. Like we went to like Sam Octagon's art show, and a bunch of people at that were like, hey, we listened to it, and people ask you questions. You're like, how do they know that? And they're like, oh, because I talk for an hour. Put this thing out where I talk for an hour. But it was a really lovely kind of like having that happen a few times in a night, a few times over a weekend. And actually had two very lovely people come up to me at the Horsepower show that came to my Comedy Fest show from listening to the pod or something. And it was a very lovely, so thank you to those two gals that said g'day and came to the show off that. So it's just like,
I love that.
This is why we do it, folks.
Yeah, like I've had like a few people sort of say like, oh, I checked out this band that you played on the radio show and now I love them and I'd never heard of them before.
That's fucking awesome.
That is like my heart beating out of my chest.
Yeah.
Or like people going, oh, hey, I heard you played this. Like you might like this band. Heart beating out my chest. Like that's how to make a lifelong friend out of me, is like, oh, I thought you might like this band.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like I was in line to vote with like my neighbor and she bumped into her friend and we were talking and then it came up about the radio show. And he was like, oh, tell me more about it. And I started goes, oh, you did the hardcore show. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I've listened to that. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. I was like, how did you not recognize my voice, my dulcet tones, my beautiful accent? But like, again, like you were saying, I'm constantly surprised when people are like, oh yeah, I listened to it, mainly because it's at 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. And I'm like, really? Okay, dope. But yeah, it's just, because you're in the studio, it's dark outside. I'm just like, am I shouting into the wind?
Yeah.
Like, is anything going on? But so it's really nice when people come up and say nice things.
Fucking
and I'm
nice.
like, hell yeah. I'm just doing it because I love hardcore and I love playing new music and I love discovering new music and sharing that with people. So when people say nice things, I'm like, Love you.
Thanks, everyone, for listening and talking to us in real life. It rocks. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yes.
We've had you for long enough. What do you want to... listen to the radio show.
Yes.
Listen to Timepeace.
Yeah, so a couple of things. So listen to the radio show, pbsfm.org.au. You can listen on there, or you can listen on FM radio if you're in Melbourne, Victoria, 106.7 FM. You can catch up on every single show. If you are asleep between the hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I get it. Reach out. I'll soon have, maybe when this goes live, I'll have the Instagram. So you can go nobarriers.pbsfm. And by the time the show is out, it will be live and you can follow and interact with it there and tell me if I'm wrong.
You already locked the handle down or what?
Yeah, I just got it last night. It's locked in.
Okay, great. Perfect.
And then, yeah, for Timepeace, we, thanks to everyone that's been coming out to shows and said nice things and moshing, my favorite bit. We just played that Horsepower show as our last show for a little while because we, just Dustin and I are going away for June, July. He's on tour. I'm going to the UK.
You're on tour.
I'm going with
elsewhere.
him. I'm actually going with
Yeah,
him
you
for a
are.
week. I'm going to jump in the van, which has been probably about 20 years since I jumped in a van with a band, but it'll be fun. We've got the Nurofen ready. But we are taking a little break because we're going to record next weekend.
Nice.
So recording all of our songs. I think we'll put out a demo of just like 2 of them just because we've got to get something out. If I have one more conversation with someone and they're like, release music. Like I saw Pag at the weekend. He was like, put music out.
Get it on the internet.
I'm trying. Just so you know, people get to know the songs. They can read my lyrics and sing along. Don't judge me, please. Tell me only nice things. I don't want to hear any constructive criticism. And then we'll see how that goes. Maybe remaster a little bit and then put like a full EP out when we're all back, like August, and start playing shows again. So once we get the music out, listen to Timepeace. Tell us good things.
Amazing.
And that's it. Timepeace loves you.
Solo, what you got?
Nothing much in the works at the moment. Come to Catfish Comedy on Tuesdays. I haven't announced it officially yet, but before Cold Day in Brisbane on the 24th of July, I'll be doing my solo show, Punk Music. So bit of a heads up, it's coming.
Woohoo.
So yeah, I'll be up there then.
It's great. Everyone should go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's it for me at the moment.
Dope. I've got, what's first? Aglo shows in June here and in Frankston with Death Tax. Come to those. Extortion playing in July with Iron Lung. Come to all those. I think by the time this goes on the internet, the Melbourne show will probably be sold out, which is fucking cool. But we're playing in Frankston as well and in Perth. So come to that. Then the I Exist shows, playing Cold Day, and also here in Melbourne. Come to that too.
Got my ticket.
Fuck yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's it for me. Also, I wanted to say thanks because I posted about it on Instagram, but Born Dry gave us a bunch more water. Thanks to them for doing that. And,
Aaron, I need you to be an influencer, like a full-blown influencer. That series of stories,
I'm pretty good at it.
best influencer shit I've ever seen.
Some of my personal friends, Robyn, liked it. And also, Kish from Beowulf started a hot sauce brand that I have here. It's called Hell's Horses. Check it out.
Sick.
Thanks for sending us hot sauce. It's yummy.
Do you want to send us more shit? Please do.
Please do. We don't ask for anything money-wise. Just give us free things. I'll talk about it. I'll eat it. I'll drink it.
Or my pay ID, as I said on.
Has that gone anywhere yet? Anyone give me any cash?
No, but I realize it's also connected to an account I don't have access to at the moment, so I need to fix that up.
All right. Well,
Thanks for listening, everyone. Thank you for coming in, Robyn.
Thank you for having
we
me
appreciate
again.
you.
cheers. See you later.
Bye.